the opposition wants you to believe that you're being snooped on, and most snooping, they say, is going to happen by the government through your phones. The opposition claims that your phones will have the Sanchar Saathi app, which is an app designed, planned by the Department of Telecommunications, which has given a mandate saying that all phones will have the pre-installation of the Sanchar Saathi app. It's a mobile app which will be there on all new handsets in the country. What is the Sanchar Saathi app? It's basically a secure platform across multiple telecom safety services. The government says it allows consumers to report fraud communications, spam, check genuineness of their mobile handsets, and block lost or trace stolen phones. So basically, Jyotiraditya Scindia is saying it's a good thing. It helps you secure your phone. The opposition said no, it's a snooping app. Jyotiraditya Scindia wants to get inside your phone and find out what you're WhatsApping to whom, what you're messaging whom, where you're going, where you're eating. So basically, the opposition is crying foul, saying that this is like Pegasus. Now that's where the opposition makes a mistake. Because the moment you say Pegasus, you realize that Pegasus was a big deal about nothing. It was a HOAX hoax. It was a nexus citing so-called OCCRP reports funded by the US State Department, saying that some opposition leaders had Pegasus spyware put into their phones so that Narendra Modi could get to know who was talking what to whom and what those messages were about. Rahul Gandhi had said at that time, I myself have Pegasus on my phone. And he went around saying that he can't message anyone because the intelligence bureau knows who he's talking to. And he claimed that intelligence bureau officials had called him to say, Rahul Gandhi, we are tracking your phone. This all ended up being one gigantic hoax because the matter came up in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court wasted time, appointed a committee, probed the allegations, examined 29 phones, examined their hardware, but found nothing about Pegasus being on any of them, which means that the whole Pegasus controversy, which we wasted time on for 6 months, which the Supreme Court wasted time, technical committee wasted time, taxpayer money was wasted, ended up finding no evidence of any Pegasus malware. This is therefore the example of crying foul. Crying foul meaning there is actually nothing to report, there is nothing to be worried about, but because someone's made a big deal about it, you go around believing that there is something wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly the kind of thinking which the opposition wants to put in your head. They want you to feel insecure. The opposition, having realized they cannot win an election, wants you to feel insecure, wants you to feel worried, wants you to feel scared, wants you to say that the government's after me and the government wants to know what I'm doing. Now, I'm asking you, ladies and gentlemen, why would the government want to know what you're doing? Why would the government want to find out where you bought vegetables from? Why would the government want to find out which movies you've been watching? Why would the government want to find out where you ordered some noodles from? The government only wants to find out if you're someone who is doing spam calls, if you're involved in cybercrime, if you're doing something that is patently illegal. In other words, the government wants to track you only if you're a digital criminal. And Sanchar Saathi is something only digital criminals should be scared about. Ladies and gentlemen, to say that something which is aimed at protecting the citizens from digital crime is aimed at actually snooping their private information is an exaggeration of a point that there is really no way in which it can be believed by any logical individual. And therefore, I wanted to begin the program by telling you, do not believe a lot of false data which will be coming to you over the next few days, because you know how some of these Kongi groups work. They take money from all kinds of foreign groups, then they keep spamming you. They're going to put out all these ads. They're going to pay and fund inorganic traffic only to make sure that you're very scared and you believe that the government wants to find out what you're doing in your private space. Trust me, and I'm saying this to you, Jyotiraditya Scindia or Narendra Modi are not interested in your vegetable shopping or to find out which movies you've been watching or where you're doing your food delivery orders from. It's only trying to ensure that there is a system, however, in this country, which has the largest number of mobile handsets, the largest number of mobile connections, where if you're a victim of crime, you have the rights, the ability, and there is a technical interface which allows it. Most importantly, if you're uncomfortable with Sanchar Saathi, you can uninstall it. If the government wanted to be Big Brother, why would you give you the right to uninstall the app within a flash of a second? This is therefore the reality. Since you're going to, I presume, be receiving a lot of false information and fake news about this subject, I wanted to begin tonight by addressing this very, very critical, very important issue, which seems to be creating a little bit of a flutter on the first day of Parliament.